What do you like to eat?
Ice cream.
What kind of ice cream?
Vanilla. And chocolate.
Reese is in kindergarten at Windy Hill Elementary in Calvert County, Maryland. Before he can learn how to read, he'll need to master all 26 letters of the alphabet. Reese knows most of them, and reading expert Linda Farrell is going to help him with the last few that he needs to learn.
Letters have to be absolutely automatic, all 26, because when you're reading, so many different things are going on. You cannot be struggling with which letter, is this a V or a Y? It's going to, even those two confusions will slow up reading forever. I would like you to sing the alphabet song for me.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
I
can go quicker.
No, that was quick enough. I could hardly keep up. Reese could sing the alphabet song, sort of. He would be what many teachers would say, oh, yeah, he can sing the song. If you listened really carefully, you would hear that Reese had difficulty when he sang the song articulating LMNOP, which is also, many children have that, and he had difficulty articulating the W. When we got to letter naming, it was very interesting. W is one of the letters that he didn't know. We find this often, is that the source of a confusion for a letter name will often go back to you find that same confusion in singing the song. So when children have difficulty with letter names, it isn't as easy for them as it is for other children to learn this shape. This abstract shape has this abstract name. And some kids learn that easily, and some kids need more practice. And Reese is one who needs practice. What we're going to do is we are going to sing the alphabet song and touch the letters as we sing. Okay? So get your finger. Now, sing the first row.
A, B, C, D.
Stop. Okay? So you sang the first row. Okay, now go and sing the whole thing to here.
A, B, C, D.
Asking Reese to touch the letters ensures that he'll look at the letters as he sings.
L-M-N-O-P.
Okay, now this row is a little bit hard. So let's do this. Let's go. L, M, N, O, P. Say them again. Wait, what was that?
M, N, P.
Well, let's try that again. Because what's that letter?
O.
What's that letter?
N.
What's that? Reese has difficulty with L, M, N, O, P. Now, he can do that. He can say that's an L, that's an M, that's an N, that's an O, that's a P, but he can't say L, M, N, O, P. He can't sing it and say it at the same time. I don't know why this happens, but I see it all the time. When children can coordinate a movement with a visual, a letter, they can coordinate and say and touch the letter at the same time, they will know it better. So we do that with the letter song, with the alphabet song, and make sure that our children can touch and say each letter. And we do it over and over and over again because we always teach to mastery. And the thing that we worked with the most with Reese was the LMNOP line. We are getting him to look at the letter as he says its name or sings its name. That's going to be a really critical skill when he learns to read because we need him to look at the letter when he's reading.
X, Y, and Z.
Is there an and there?
I said and.
The song says and, so you're going to go Y and, go like this, Y and, so take your hand, go Y and Z. Do that one again.
Y and Z.
Okay. Do you think you can do them all without making any mistakes? I think you can.
Without pointing?
You have to point. That's part of the trick, okay? So do it. I think you can do it.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q.
By looking at the letters as he names them, Reese is developing an image in his mind that is linked with the letter's name. Being able to easily recognize letters is critical to becoming a fluent reader.
My A, B, C's. Next time, won't you sing with me?
That was pretty darn good. We teach the names of the letters before we teach the sounds of the letters. The logical reason is that an A is always an A. An S is always an S. The name is a constant. The sound changes. I look at it as the A is the big category, just like this is a flower. These are all flowers, but this is a rose. Okay, we have an A. This is a peony. Okay, I have an A, and in this word, with this spelling pattern, it's an A. In this word, with this spelling pattern, it's an A. So we're teaching the category first. We are then go to the sounds. And most of the letters, if you know the name, the sound is easy to learn. B, B. S, S, Z, Z. D, D. There are some letters that don't match their sounds. Y and W, and we have to teach those, especially those don't come naturally, but most of the sounds come easily. Also, the song gives you an anchor for the names. I can sing this song. I have a chant. Even though I don't know what an A is from when I'm 2 years old. I learned the alphabet song. What's that letter?
Y.
This is a Y.
Z.
That's a V. Can you say V? Okay, look down at the letter and say V. Point to it and say V.
V.
What's that letter?
V.
Point to it and say V.
V.
And what's that letter?
Z.
Okay.
They
One more
kind
time.
of, so when you put this way, this way, kind of looks like an N.
It does kind of look like an N. Yeah. It was very interesting working with Reese because he pointed out to me in very articulately how V and Z looks like an N and V and Y, and it was exactly the letters that he was getting confused about, and he could even tell us as a kindergartner why they were confusing. Okay, here we go.
Y.
You're telling me that's a Y, and I'm going to tell you that's a V.
V.
So can you say V?
V.
What's at the bottom of the V? A point. What's at the bottom of the V?
Point.
Okay, so...
It's kind of, if you turn it this way and there's a line, it kind of looks like, it would look like an A.
It
and
would.
It looks like a triangle when you put it this way, and it ends.
Okay, but what letter is that? Is it...
Y.
Okay, is this A or B?
Y.
Y? Oh my gosh, I have to show you something. Y looks like this, okay? When I first started working with Reese, I was just trying to get him to know V because my assessment had told me V was confusing. I don't work on all of the confusing letters. I work on 1 or 2 confusing letters at a time. I work on 1 letter if he just can't remember the name. And when I first started working with Reese, I thought that he could not remember the name of V. So I get a stack of index cards. Maybe I get 12, maybe I get 14, maybe I get 8. Half of those will be the letter that we're working on, 1 letter. The other half will be letters that he is very confident with, so he doesn't have to think about those. So that I go, what's the name of this letter? What's the name of this letter? As I did that, it was real easy for him to say V, V, V. Let's do V.
V.
What's the name of that letter?
V.
What's at the bottom of the V?
Point.
You got it. Say V.
V.
Okay, what's that letter?
S. B. E. B. C. V. T. V. X.
Let's try these one more time. You think you can go through them again?
there's a lot of V's.
Once Miss Farrell saw that Reese knew the name of the letter V, then she worked on helping Reese discriminate between the letters V and Y.
My job is to figure out a way to make them not confusing. For him, they all looked like they were the same shape. So I have to think, okay, as I was working with him, I saw that he confused V and Y. He'd already told me, oh, they both have these and they look, this has a point here and a point here. So my job is to get him to look at the letter and give him a way to verbalize the difference between the shapes of the letters. And I had never done this before with V and Y, but I looked and I said, well, V has a point at the bottom. And Y doesn't have a point at the bottom. This goes through my mind. Y doesn't have a point at the bottom. What's at the bottom is a line. Okay, so I'll make that difference. This is a V.
And Y.
You got it. Now, there's a line at the bottom of Y. What's at the bottom of Y?
Line.
A line. What's at the bottom of V?
Point.
Okay, say V has a point.
V has a point.
V.
V.
Say Y has a line.
Y has a line.
Y.
Y.
Okay, now point to the point and say V has a point. V.
V has a point. V.
Say Y has a line.
Y has a line. Line.
Say Y has a
Y.
line. Y. Okay,
Y
do it
has a
again.
line. Y.
Got to point to the line.
Y has a line. Y. V has a point. V.
Okay, now we're gonna, every time I show you a letter, you have to say that, and then you have to say it, okay? You
Okay.
ready? Okay, here we go.
V has a point. V. V has a point. V. V has a point. V. Y has a line. Y. Y has a line. Y. Y has a line. Y. Y has a line. Y.
Okay, now I want you to try saying them without saying V has a point V. Just say the name of the letter. Go slow, okay?
Okay. I might go quicker and quicker. Y.
Okay, now you have to look down and point and tell me,
Y.
what does Y have?
A line.
A line. What does V?
V.
It is. I started in this lesson by just getting him to know V. But that wasn't going to work because he still wanted to call it a Y sometimes. So I needed to set up the contrast. And you saw that it worked as long as he said V has a point, Y has a line. V has a point, V. Y has a line, Y. I stopped the scaffolding too quickly because I went back and he looked at it and he just saw two lines and he went, why? We need to get, whenever we do a scaffold where we're comparing two letters that look similar and we're saying this one has a point at the bottom, this one has a line, he has to do that enough where it is automatic for him to say it and know that letter, and he has to look at it. Because what we want him to do is subliminally, when he stops saying it, being looking at that and thinking it, and then eventually he doesn't have to go through the thinking V has a point, it just automatically becomes V. 2 high fives.
I missed one.
Let's do another one then. Once he got good at Y and V, just those two contrasting, then I would put 3 Ys, 3 Vs, and 6 letters that he already knows, so that he would have to think. We're making it just incrementally more difficult for him to have to remember until he just automatically looks at that letter and it's a V, and that one's a Y. And it does happen. Sometimes it happens with practice 25 times, sometimes it happens with practice 250 times, and sometimes it's 1,000 times, but it will happen. 2 high fives. That was really, really good.
We'd like to thank the wonderful students and families at Windy Hill Elementary School in Calvert County, Maryland. We hope that sharing these experiences will help other children who are learning to read. Special thanks also to Kelly Cleland, Julie Donovan, Joanne Harbaugh, and their outstanding colleagues at Windy Hill Elementary, and to Leanne Meisinger at Calvert County Public Schools. We are deeply grateful to Linda Farrell, Michael Hunter, and Nicole Lubar of Readsters for their invaluable contributions to this project. For more information about teaching reading, please visit www.readingrockets.org.